welcome to Embodied Alchemy with me, Rebecca Wilson, an embodied experiential space for you to drop deep into the wealth of wisdom within your being and activate a fuller, richer you. I am an embodied business coach, embodiment queen, sacred business midwife, and alchemist. I will help you birth your visions and sacred business into the world from an easeful, embodied, and rooted space within. So you can be who you are here to be, create what you are here to create, and activate the wealth of energy that is you. I will activate you into self-leadership, self-mastery to create your legacy on earth. Welcome on the journey, my love. Hello, beauties. Welcome to Embodied Alchemy. Welcome into my world. Welcome on this journey. Wherever you are in the world, wherever you are joining us from, whatever part, corner of this beautiful earth you live upon, or wherever you're joining this space from inside of yourself, I truly welcome you in. It is so beautiful and joyful for me to be able to connect with you all in this way and to build a beautiful and sacred community of women, a space for us to gather. It really just fills me up with so much warmth. So today, in today's sharing, I really wanted to bring in a piece of wisdom, an unfolding that I have been supporting and guiding many women in my world through this inner healing and inner transformation. Whether there's a theme of this at this time or whether it is just a deep core wound that many humans and many women carry and hold, I'm not sure. But it's here, so I wanted to talk to it, into it, from it, and share. The exploration that has been really alive in my field and in my world is a really deep piece of integration and healing around visibility, around being seen. And this is actually showing up in the spaces and the containers that I hold in many different forms and in many different contexts. But my felt sense is that when we unravel all of the stories back to the main source, to the root, when we unravel that yarn back to the beginning, that wound or that feeling or that narrative that lives in the epicenter is usually very similar or the same. The areas in our lives it manifests often alter, change, are different from person to person, woman to woman. Like I say, as we arrive deep, deep, deep within, we often find that this narrative or belief or story or fear or wound, if we want to call it that, a shadow, lives within the small child inside of us, actually. How it's been showing up has been quite fascinating because in different spaces, in different containers, in different journeys that I hold and offer and guide and support women through, the theme of the space can be different. So this awakening has been arriving in my awakening feminine individual mentorship journeys, with this deep visceral fear of being seen and being visible within life and within relationship has been very alive and active. And that same somatic, cellular, visceral feeling has also been very present and alive for the women that are in my embodied business alchemy containers. So I found it truly fascinating, and of course one of those of course moments. There's no separation. So if it lives in one area, it's going to live in another because it lives inside of the self. What containment or what area or aspect of our life it manifests in, I'm not sure it truly matters. It arrives because it has an opening to be expressed. So for some women, that is a deep fear of being seen by their partner or their friends or their children. And for other women, it shows up in a fear of being visible within their business and their creations, maybe stepping out into the world in social media or creating a website or a mail out list or a blog. For some women, there's a crossover, and I'm guessing that it probably shows up for most of them, us, whoever experiences this feeling, this fear, in many ways, shapes and forms, in many aspects and areas of our lives. My personal journey with this wound and with this integration and healing process was that this fear, it was very visceral for me actually, like a somatic nervous system terror of being truly seen. It has showed up in many different forms, in many different areas of my life at different times. It began with friends and deep, profound connections with sisters and women in my world. Then it moved into my business realm and sharing myself with that world and a community and an audience and social media and having pictures for the website and writing a mail out and pressing send and showing and revealing more of myself in that way. And it also revealed itself within my intimate relationship and partnership, a deep fear of being seen for who I truly am. And that is the core of all of the expressions, all of the areas in which this has shown up for me and for so many of the women that I support. This fear of being seen, of being visible for who we, they, you are, who you truly are, in your true, authentic expression of self. And of course, because we live in a world that conditions us to be everything other than ourselves, to be accepted, loved, validated, approved, to not be rejected, abandoned, denied, disowned, cast out. So how could we not carry some fear around truly being seen for who we are? What has been really interesting to unravel is, for myself and for the women that I'm supporting through this, is a very deep and powerful activation, actually, on a very core cellular level. What's really interesting is if I step out in the world as a persona or as who I think the world wants me to be, or who I have been told I need to be to receive love, connection, safety, etc. There is some element of fear, but not the complete. There's an ability to witness that, feel that, and maybe bypass it in a way. Because we step into this suit or this armor of, here I am, exactly who you, they, the world, need me to be loved, accepted, valued, appreciated. I can never be abandoned, rejected, or denied. Here, I can never lose love, which is the ultimate wound. Here, because I'm being who you, culture, collective, society, family system, says I need to be. there can still be a fear alive in the body around being visible in that, but there's somehow this cloak of protection because we're not truly being who we are. But when we arrive into our truest awakening inside of ourselves, when we awaken into the knowing that we have not been living in our authentic expression, that we haven't been sharing our truest self with the world, when the light is shone upon that and all of that is illuminated, it's very hard not to see it anymore. And I think that's great because we're here to heal and awaken and evolve. So every aspect and area of our lives that we have been being the version of ourself, quote unquote, that we believed we needed to be to gain all of these things, ultimately safety, love, and connection, to not be abandoned, rejected, or denied. We can no longer play out the personas, put on all of the different masks. We can no longer hide in that cloak of protection of being other. And we arrive into the journey of, well, who am I? And that is a whole nother podcast, which maybe I'll get to at some point. But that piece of, well, if I express the truest version of me in the world, in my relationship with my children, in my business, with my team, with my community, on Instagram, on social media, if I write a really vulnerable post or piece or have a really vulnerable conversation with somebody where I am being true, authentic, truly authentic to who I am, if I am in full expression of that, what will happen? How does that feel in your body right now as you listen and possibly feel into that as a journey or an experience that you have? Because this is the piece here where we truly heal the visibility and being seen wound. It's very easy, or much easier, to be visible and seen in a persona or an identity that is false, not true, or has been carved and curated around who we believe we must be. But as we unravel the journey of awakening within, and in that, the deep layers of pattern, story, narrative, belief, family system, childhood traumas and wounds, imprints, impressions, shoulds, shouldn'ts, do's, don'ts, the collective, the culture, and so on. There's a lot, right? There is a lot placed on us. But as we awaken through all of that and we come into that part of ourself, the truest essence of our being, and we re-meet her, because she's always been there, just underneath all of the layers or hidden under the clutter, maybe packed away in a dark, quiet corner somewhere in our psyche. We get to learn who we are, and we begin to take the steps of the journey of sharing the truest part of ourselves with the world, in our relationships with friends, partners, children, like I say, in your community, your business, your audience, and so on. And this is the place where we truly heal the visibility and the fear of being seen wound. It can't be healed from a place of being something that is not truly you, because you're not actually being seen there. So how does that show up within the realm of conscious and sacred business? So often this can show up in thoughts and ideas of, who does my audience want me to be? What do they want from me? I'll be that, and then they'll stay. Then they will commit to being part of my world. Then they'll stay with me, they'll grow with me, they'll keep following me, they won't unsubscribe from my mail out. Or it could be, what is everybody else out there doing? I must be like that. I mean, that's the conditioning of the culture, even of a conscious world. So all of these ways of expressing that are not the truest version of you, we get to hide the vulnerability of being visible and being seen in the truest, most authentic, aligned version of ourselves. But what happens in those moments is we rob ourselves of a profound opportunity to be real, to be raw, to be true, and to experience deep, heartfelt connection. And that is true for all areas of life: relationship, family, business, community, and so on. When we return back into ourselves, when we allow or take the steps or guide ourselves upon the journey of walking ourselves home, to ground, to anchor, to root in the center of self, we naturally begin to awaken to our truest, most authentic expression. Who knows what lives inside of there? How you want to speak, feel, walk, move, what you stand for, what you believe in, what you know to be true and not true for yourself. When all of the echoes and the external noise of the world, of parents, of teachers, of systems that have been impressed and imprinted upon you are released, you get to settle in to a quieter space inside of yourself. Here lives your truest voice and your deepest wisdom. I absolutely know that to be 100% true, because it has been an embodied journey of mine. And it's from that space that we truly get to heal and allow ourselves to be seen and be visible in the world, in whatever form, whatever shape, whatever arena it is that you desire to be seen more. And usually within this healing, there's such an interesting paradox, because there lives inside of the self a very deep longing and yearning to be seen. To be seen, to be known, to be met, to be understood. But the world, other people, your clients, your audience, your children, your partners, your family, they cannot meet you if you are not in the truest, authentic expression of you. They will meet the mask of you, the false expression of you. So that is where the feeling of not being truly seen lives. We must ask ourselves, are you expressing the truest version of you to be met and be seen? Because if that is not in expression, you will always have the feeling of not being seen. It is a beautiful, powerful, and very potent journey to take, to walk through this inner awakening of finding steady and solid ground within yourself to step into the truest expression of you. So that part of you, the true whole part of you, your essence, can be felt, witnessed, seen, understood from your world around you. We heal the wound of visibility when we allow ourselves to be visible and to be seen for who we truly are. And that journey, as with all of these journeys, happens within. We must meet ourselves. We must see ourselves. We must become visible into ourself to find the strength, courage, comfort, steady ground to reveal that part of ourselves to the external world. And when we do so, when you sit with yourself and connect in and see yourself truly, fully, deeply, wholly, when you embrace being visible into your own self, there is no longer a projection from within to the external world. When you cultivate safety, steadiness, and love in seeing yourself, being visible to yourself at that soul depth, cellular level, there is never a projection of that fear or wound to be placed outside, because you have you. You see you. You are truly visible to you. And this is the journey that is so alive and active in my world right now. My felt sense is that women, the feminine, is awakening at such a rapid pace. She is rising within all. And this yearning and longing that has lived within the field of women and the feminine to be seen and be visible, to find steady ground in sharing themselves in relationship, in connection, in community, in socials, in business, to be truly seen, is being met with this profound awakening at this time. If this is speaking to you, I want you to just take a really deep breath in and a big exhale out. Just allow yourself to soften and relax into your own body and being. And in that softening and relaxing, just allow everything that's moving inside you to move. Trust that whatever has been touched, awoken and activated has been because it is time for you to see it, feel it, know it. I welcome you if this has moved you, touched you in any way, or you know a woman or a sister that could receive these words, to share this episode far and wide. Let all women arrive back into their own space, their own center, to be visible to themselves, to truly see themselves and allow others to see them too. You can always arrive into my world via my Instagram and connect with me there if this has touched you, moved you, or if any other of the episodes of the Embodied Alchemy podcast or anything else I share or write. I love to hear from women. I love to hear what's moving, what's touching, what's shaking your world, so that I am better able to feel into the expressions to share here in this space together. We have some really beautiful, potent offerings in the birth canal, ready and waiting to launch, to birth into 2023. In the show notes, there is a link for you to get on the waitlist. Some of the containers are going to be deeply intimate with limited spaces. There's also going to be an option there for you to receive or be on the wait list of retreats and immersions, which always are fully booked, sold out with wait lists. So drop in, share what you're interested in on the wait list, step into my world. I'm so ready to welcome you in, to support you on your embodied awakening. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you loved this musing and sharing, I would love for you to share this episode far and wide. You can arrive into all of my offerings at rebecca-wilson.com. Links to dive deeper with me are in the episode notes. Remember, my love, you are here to be the fullest, most potent, powerful, embodied version of you. I am here to guide you into that. Hey love, I'm dropping in here to welcome you to join us in our online community membership, The Village. I created this space for women to gather, to return to themselves, to deepen the connection and the relationship with self, whilst held in a community of like-minded women walking the journey and the path of their own awakening.